Morning, welcome back. Time now 8:49. Charlie O'Hara in studio this morning. Good morning. How you been?
Doing great. How about you?
Good. Doing well. Hey, we've got at least one caller on the line looking to get a question answered. You're live right now with Charlie. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I had an attorney on a traffic case, and I went to the walk-in docket to get off probation early because I paid my fine. And they tell me he's got to withdraw his name off of my case so they can even talk to me. And he said that he'd work with me on a price. Why do I got to pay him to withdraw his name off my case and he's already paid? I don't, is that legal?
Well, I mean, asking if something's legal is a little different than whether someone should be doing it. Normally, when you hire an attorney, especially for usually in a criminal case or a traffic case, it's usually for a fee certain, a flat fee, a fee agreement that you make with somebody as to how you're going to pay and what the total amount of the pay is going to be. So if you've totally paid the attorney for what he was supposed to do or she was supposed to do, then I would think that would cure the problem. I don't know what your contractual agreement with the attorney was. The scenario of what you're saying sounds a little strange. Sometimes the problem is the city, if it's the city of Wichita or the state of Kansas, they have rules about attorneys getting on and off, and you have to follow those rules. So there may be more involved in that. I think you ought to call your attorney and talk to him. It would seem to me that an attorney shouldn't be charging you just for getting off a case under that circumstance, but I don't know what your agreement was, and you need to check with the attorney.
All right, good advice there. We've got another caller on the line. Go ahead. You are live right now with your question for Charlie.
Okay, I have a daughter-in-law. Her mother died in West Virginia, and there's some land and some money in a bank account, and I called some officials in West Virginia. They said she'd have to buy a surety bond. Could you explain what a surety bond is, and do the rates vary on a surety bond?
Yeah, a surety bond, I mean, I don't exactly know what they're meaning by that. It can mean a whole bunch of different things, but a bond is something where you post money to guarantee. You post a bond basically guaranteeing that you'll either perform or show up in court. The normal one we think of is an appearance bond, where someone has to show up in court, and if they don't show up in court when they're supposed to, then they lose the money that they've posted. If they posted $100 and they don't show up, they lose the $100. A performance bond or something like that would be the same thing, but if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you owe the money. So this is some kind of bond like that, and usually the rates can vary. You can usually get those. There's bondsmen for criminal cases, and there's insurance companies that do things on performance bonds, and probably a bond in that instance to get property back. If I was in West Virginia, I'd get a hold of an attorney if there's property and money there. I think an attorney's the one you ought to go to. They can usually get a hold of the surety and everything else to get everything set up.
Yeah, and get that all figured out, because it's a situation that can be pretty complicated.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much. All right, we'll be right back with a look at some of your top stories.